All right. Hey, everybody. I'm MylesTales. This is DomZilla, and we are here with Jonni Phillips, creator of Secrets and Lies and A Town of Sinners, amongst a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
If you're super into animation, and if you're super into animation on YouTube, you more than likely stumbled across her stuff. Uh, so, Jonni, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Right. So, I just, I'm learning to animate. So he's an actual animator, so he's probably gonna
Okay.
have more like technical questions for you. But I've always wanted to know, like just watching everything, just about everything that you've done. Um, what's your inspiration?
Well, there's kind of like a lot of different things. I think like as far as animation goes, it's a lot of independent animators. There's like a big one for me is Amy Lockhart, who does a lot of like cutout stop motion animation. So like kind of if you've seen Stilton's in Charge, which is a series I make with my friend Victoria. It's like kind of like that. It's like just cutouts, but I think hers are like more complicated than mine. And then there's this guy named like I'm gonna fuck it up, but it's like Bretislav Poyar, I think. I don't know. Like he's from like Czechoslovakia, I think. Or I might be totally fucking that up, but like he does a lot of cutout animation as well. I think like like cutout animation people generally are my like my favorite kind of animators because it's like I don't know. I find like the combination of like stop motion and drawings really fun and like really interesting. So even when I'm doing like a full like just drawing animation, I try to think about it like like there'll be aspects of it that I'm thinking about kind of in the same way, but like it's kind of all melting together though. But like
Wait, you said that you think in the aspect of a cutout of animating cutouts.
yeah, so like well like kind of like even in the context of like okay like sorry, like in the context of like Secrets and Lies, the animation style for that was really heavily informed by cutout animation because even though I was using Flash, there's like a lot of things in Flash that you can use that are kind of similar, like tweening or like symbols or whatever. So it's like kind of thinking about using those things in a kind of tasteful way, I guess, where it's like kind of playing into the aesthetic of like of like like a specific aesthetic where it's um like I'm so sorry. I haven't like thought
You're
about how to
you're
verbalize this.
fine. You can relax. Like
Yeah.
I can see it. Like you, like I mean, we're just probably as nervous as you. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was waiting to the end to say anything.
Yeah, yeah. Like this is no, like your process is actually really interesting.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
dope.
Yeah, I mean, like with Secrets and Lies, it was like this. Yeah, like because I'd been working in Flash for about a year up until when I started doing it. I hadn't worked with it prior to that at all, even though I'd been doing animation for so long. Well, I did like a few things with it, but it wasn't anything substantial. But then I started working at BuzzFeed, and my friend Liz Hickey, who was my boss there, she kind of taught me Flash in a really like constructive way, and it made me. And I did a bunch of shorts there in Flash, so I started to kind of think about like all the different things you can do with it and everything, and kind of how to like replicate things I had already been doing with all my paper animation and stuff in the context of Flash. And while I like kind of hate it, kind of hate like working in the program, it's like kind of fun to kind of the recontextualize a lot of the things I'd already been thinking about in
Right.
the process, you know?
Kind of have to translate it from the physical world to the digital world.
Yeah, it's like really weird. It's really like a reverse engineered kind of thing, I
Yeah,
guess.
I can
Yeah.
totally see that.
Well, I have a few questions because I hmm. One I want to start with this the way that you decided to animate it's a few different ones. I'm trying to think in particular. There was um, a storyboard that you were doing, or it was an unfinished project with this guy climbing a ladder up to heaven.
Well, you cut out a lot. I'm sorry. You're just like for the past like few seconds. Like I didn't hear any of that.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me? Is that good?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You just like went out for like 30 seconds or something.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well,
That's okay.
but yeah, so it was this technique that you used to animate these characters, and I mean, it was just for like storyboard, and I imagine, but it was a episode where it was a character climbing up a ladder, and he turns down the ladder, and then he turns down all these other things. He gets up to God, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so the style, like with the movement of the mouse, like really like rapid and crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was wondering, like, what is your technique behind doing something like that? I've
like
never
some
seen.
So that's like probably the easiest thing I do.
Really.
It's like literally I go into Photoshop and I just draw like one pose basically. And the backgrounds and everything, and then go into After Effects and use this thing called a pin. I think it's called the pin tool. I haven't like worked it with it in a while, but you can basically just like I make like the characters like on a transparent background basically, and then just put them in After Effects, and then like use the pin tool to like select a few different parts of the body, and then like yeah, like
yeah, okay.
And then basically like there's this function where it's basically like puppeting it, so you can like in real time kind of drag around the different pieces of the character. So it's like so like when you do it like in different like in a bunch of different spots, it's like it like kind of makes that like insane like
Yeah.
like because it's like because you're like puppeting, it's like you're going back over, it's kind of like it's like puppeting, but like you're able to go back in time and do more every time, so it's like instead of just being like it's like as if like you were like doing like a Muppet or something, and then like you go like you record it and then like go back in time and then do the arm or something.
That's so wild.
Yeah, it's like really it's like so I don't even remember what spawned the idea to do that, but it's like
you're just being impulsive, like let's see if this works, like oh shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I was just like bored. I think so I was like working really like intensely on like I think Essentia at the time.
Right.
And I was like getting really just tired of it. And I was like, I have to do something that just like, like
it frees your mind up, something you don't have to think about.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I hear that. That's what's up.
But you went on to use that technique in the 48-hour animation, right?
Oh, and Davis Crosby?
Yes, the Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like that one shot where he's like shoving the bread into the mouth.
Yes.
It's like
yeah.
No, that was great. Like, my bread.
I have to ask. All right, so how did that story come about? Like, what was running through your mind when that happened?
So, well, it was because at Cal Arts, where I went to school, there was like every year in the animation department, there's like a 48-hour film like not competition, just like you make one. Okay. So me and my two friends, were my friends Sam Lane and Inho, we like basically. We were just like we went to Denny's and we were just like we're like what can we do? And then I think Sam initially was like let's do something really wholesome and really like sweet, and then she was like what about a bee who sells bread? And then I like started doing that voice, so like yes. And I think that kind of spawned the disturbing tipping point, because that voice is so like super villain sounding.
Yeah.
And then we just like went and sat in like this random hallway and just like we're just like improvised the whole script. It's like it's like it was very like loose, but I think like the weird thing, I think, and then we came up with like the lyrics for that song, I think, first. I think that's what kind of, because like that song kind of like like made the whole context for the character, I think. Mm-hmm. So then it was like, okay, so he like he's violent, we know that now, he's like super violent and crazy, so like just ended up going but like yeah, it was like, and then like there's a bunch of stuff that's just like lifted from real life, I think, because like there was like Sam like won an award. I think she won an award, and it was like she had to go. It was like the Princess Grace or something. It was like a princess gives you this award or something. So she went to this like ball basically, which was like she went to this like fancy ball, and like she met the princess who's giving her this award, and she goes like, where are you from? And she's like, oh, I'm from like Los Angeles or whatever. And she goes, really, you're from the city? You look like you come from a farm. And she like walked away or something. So we just literally put that in there.
Oh my goodness, that is perfect. So just a lot of life experiences.
Yeah, like just like random like things that we were talking about just kind of like ended up coming.
You're like, ooh, let me write that down.
Yeah. And it's like that.
Oh wait.
Oh.
Hang on, I don't know if you can hear us. This internet connection.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure something out.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah,
Sorry about that.
I think it might be me also because my internet's been really fucky lately.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine. All right. So we missed the last 30 seconds.
I was just saying, like, I think the more you think about everything that happens in Davis Crosby, the more it doesn't make sense. But I think like
Yeah.
it's like kind of this just like loose collection of ideas.
Right, exactly.
And like it was like it ends with like the heroes cover because we were all like driving back from something and then the song came on and none of us had heard it before for some reason. And it was like we all were like, "Oh, this is amazing!" Like, one of the like the most like famous songs ever, I think. But like none of us in the car had heard it, so we're just like, and we started singing it, and then it just like we're like, "Let's put this in the movie, and we'll put like B lyrics to it."
Wow. So majority of the friends that you're referring to, they're all animators as well.
I think so. Yeah, like I think most of my friends are animators.
Word. Okay, that is awesome. That's awesome. I'm new to stepping into that animator community.
Yeah.
Really, and been doing it for a long time. But now since you, I mean, I didn't know that you went to Cal Arts.
Yeah, I went for experimental animation, which was one of the worst financial decisions you can make.
Man, really?
It's so like,
How
well,
so?
I don't know, like,
experimental.
well, it's just that I'm in debt now. I'm like in $200,000 in debt or something,
Ugh.
and then like, you know, I'm not hireable.
Right.
Like I can't like find work because like everything I do is really like fucked up and crazy.
Oh.
Wow.
And no one really wants to take a chance on it mostly. So it's like, you know, I have to basically like anything I do has to be kind of like my own thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's like, so it's either like I'm gonna be in debt for the rest of my life or I have to like sell a show, which is like way harder than like just getting a job. So it's
it might not be, you know.
No, I mean like the process of getting it, you know, like
that is
yeah.
Because like I think I would prefer to like have my own show or something, but then it's like, you know, but it's also like there's so many more steps to getting there, and it's like I think a lot of the time it's like you have to kind of have those like prior experience jobs to even get to that point. So it's kind of this thing of like, like
yeah, you're in a weird spot right now.
Yeah. I mean, like, and it's like weird because, like, for sure, I made my own movie at this point, and I've made my own show and everything, and I've made like all kind of on my own, and I'm making another movie on my own. But it's kind of like what kind of sucks is that it's like that doesn't super doesn't quantify in like in the kind of experience that would get me a job, I guess, which is weird because I think that would have been the case probably like 10 years ago or something, but like right now it's like, you know, like the kind of context the animation industry is in, it's like everything has to be like a certain way, and I think because
so that's what I was going to ask. That's the question I was going to bring. So like with you going to Cal Arts, and all right, so since you said you were in experimental animation, I was going to say I didn't see the Cal Arts effect in your art. You know,
the
like,
Cal Arts style.
I was just wondering why, you know, it's like how did you fall like end up not falling into that box. And then you said,
Yeah, well, I mean, like, because experimental animation, and I would like say like right now the state of character animation too is kind of like, like people don't. I think everyone has their own individual styles. I think it's more so when you get into the animation industry,
mm,
it kind of ends up kind of like samifying everything because like
yeah,
of the kind of restrictions of like having to like because a lot of the animation isn't even done in America. It's all done like overseas and everything.
mm,
So all the pre-production has to be like really tied down and really like simple so that it's like the translation is like easier. So it's like I don't know, like I did a pilot a while back for Frederator Studios, and like so I worked in that kind of context where you ship the animation overseas, and like I got like my style down pretty well for that, but it was like kind of the struggle of like how do you communicate like the
right,
Yeah.
specifics of this to people who speak a different language.
Yeah.
right.
So it kind of has to be simple and like easy to understand and everything. But like my friend Victoria Vincent, who Vune, she was in character animation at CalArts.
Mm,
So it's like, and her style is like not similar to mine, but like kind of outside of the
distinctive.
box as well.
Right. Extremely,
Um,
yeah.
so
Right.
it's kind
Both
of
of you
this,
guys are distinctive as hell.
yeah. Like we both have very distinct things that we're doing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like experimental animation is very much about like independent stuff. like
Mhm.
like I think like for me like I'm much more interested in that world than like experimental animation and everything, and like most of my influence
Oh no.
in it.
Mhm.
Why like it doesn't really like I don't know, it just like it's hard to figure out how to make all that stuff kind of translate to like the like a wider audience, I guess. I
Yeah.
feel like someone like Jack Stauber has done a really good job of like kind of making that kind of like experimental animation into something that's marketable.
Right. Like a little bit more commercial. Right.
Yeah, like he's doing like a really good job of making it super bite-sized and super like eye-catching and everything.
Mm.
And for me, like I think the issue for me is that like I'm really interested in like long form, like dense, like 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 dense experimentation kind of a narrative, and like so it kind of turns into this thing of like you know um how do you like market that to like a wider audience. So like again, and like also Victoria I think also has done this really well too, where it's like her stuff is like kind of easily accessible despite being experimental, and then like my things are all like here's 10 episodes of this thing, here's like a feature or whatever, here's like this and it's
Wait.
like how do you get like a bunch of people to like actually watch this flickering
Mhm.
this flickering around, like it's not like I don't know, yeah, it's it's like a tricky
There's
place to be
Well,
in.
there's obviously an audience out there. I mean,
Mhm.
you guys are pulling numbers on YouTube,
and
right?
also,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think for me I get like insecure about it, I think because I'm doing like significantly less than a lot of people, but I think I'm still doing pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like I get
You
kind of
just
like
dropped a series. You should.
Mhm.
You dropped the series. I think you should like relax for a second.
yeah. Well, I'm making another movie right now.
Okay, yeah, well, there is no relaxing for animators. But I have to ask with Vim,
Hmm?
Victoria, she does things or she submits things to Adult Swim. Have you thought about doing things of that nature, like submitting
Yeah,
scripts into?
I actually pitched like a TV show version of like the movie that I'm making right now to them a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the thing for me is that because my work kind of tends it's like adult, but it's not like Adult Swim kind of adult. It's kind of like
Right.
it's kind of this it's like a kid show where they swear basically. It's kind of like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's kind of like
Okay.
what my stuff is, I think, is or like that's how adult it goes, I would say, is like there's like swearing, and then like the rest of it I think is kind of like kid showish. But like
That's the same type of animation that I'm working on. So
yeah,
yeah.
it's like this kind of tone that I think is a little hard to market because it's like I think when I'm like pitching to them, for example, it's like they're like, oh, but like where's like the weed jokes, or where's like the like, you know, like where's the like sex jokes, or where's the like, you know, that kind of thing.
Um,
And I think that's not that I would like like never do that or something, but it's like I don't like to force it, you know what I
right.
mean?
If it
So
don't
it's like,
happen naturally, then I'm not gonna put it in there.
Right.
yeah, yeah, like it's just this. Me and Victoria made this short recently called "A Dog That Smokes Weed," which is like
Right,
Yeah,
we just
we just
watched
watched
it. Yeah.
it.
it's kind of that kind of frustration, like kind of in a movie, like
Mm.
Yeah.
kind of like just it's like the kind of it's like you have to really be like a specific person to kind of like um I think do you know, like I don't know, like it's just it feels very like in group a lot of the time, and it's like kind of hard to um you know, like if you're coming in as someone who isn't like a dog who smokes weed or something, it's like
Right.
a little bit harder to uh you know, like to do anything that, or yeah, I don't know, it's like I think you get what I'm saying. It's just like it's just frustrating. It's like a frustrating kind of thing to navigate.
Um, did you happen?
Uh, I mean, no, it's just interesting hearing what you're saying, just like hearing things from your perspective as an animator and trying to break into the industry. Um, like as someone like I don't have like I like watching cartoons, but I'm not an animator, and I had never even thought to try to get into the industry as an animator. I kind of thought that if you knew how to draw or if you knew how to use a program, then it's just like, oh, like here's proof I can do this. So, let me in.
Yeah,
Do you,
it's
like
like yeah.
do you know why they would give you such a hard time for this experimental animation? I mean, do they feel like you're going to corrupt the system or something like that?
Especially with it being, especially with it being like what is it, a major or a minor in school? Like it's a
Yeah,
class. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're learning it.
I think it's like honestly, I think it's because I get kind of I think personally on my personal end, I get really discouraged a lot. So like if it feels like some place doesn't like want me or whatever, or you know what I mean, like I get kind of like, okay, so like no, I'm not gonna do it. You know, I'll
Right.
like, so that's kind of why I went independent like last year, was because like, you know, like kind of after getting a lot of like job rejections and a lot of like people kind of not interested in what I was doing, I was like, okay, well, people online like what I'm doing.
Right. Exactly.
Jeez, why
We
does this
fuck.
keep happening?
We like all of it. Oh, let me see. She can hear us.
I don't think so. I don't know.
A lot of the things
Okay, you,
that people ask of me. Oh, sorry.
Joni, you cut out for a minute
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry. What was the last thing I said?
Uh,
You said, okay, so you're talking about
a lot of people.
a lot of people. Uh, you said that's why you went independent last year.
Oh yeah.
And,
Okay, so yeah, like I think the main problem for me is that it's hard for me to know how to like market what I do, I guess. So because it's kind of just like what it is. So it's
yeah,
like, but when I pitch stuff or whatever, a lot of the feedback I get is like, well, what box does this fit in, or like how could we like what would we tell like our audience, like what would we like what would we put this into a genre.
mm,
And for like a while it's kind of like I think lately I've been kind of having ideas that I think actually fit into the boxes and everything, but for a while I think especially last year when all I wanted to do was make the movie that I'm making right now, it was like I had like no idea how to do it, because it was like the movie I wanted to make was like is like this like kind of like like I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain it, but
mm.
it's like but Secrets and Lies kind of leads into the movie, but it's even
Okay.
crazier than Secrets and Lies. So it's like this horror movie that kind of comes from that. But it's like I think the issue kind of is for me is always that I don't know what to say. I like I don't know like what do I like.
Hmm.
I think like if I were able to be like this is exactly what I do in this box, and it's like it's like a comedy that blah 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 blah. And I think like a lot of people kind of have like know how to do that. I guess it's like and for me, it's
You're
like,
talking about like the this meets this, like
yeah.
you like this is the Dennis the Menace, but it's in underwater.
Yeah. Wait, that sounds cool though. I'm like,
Guys, need to write that down.
yeah, write it down right now.
But
Yeah, it's like kind of yeah, just it's hard to verbalize what am I like what I'm doing, how does it fit into like the wider spectrum of what everything is, you know? And like I have like people who like really want to like, you know, support me or whatever, or like get like me in the right rooms or something. But then I think when I get there, I'm always like, oh, I don't
Right.
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You're doing it. Like Kevin Smith always says that we live in a world where you don't have to ask permission for anything anymore,
Yeah,
right? And so you're doing it, and you're taking advantage of that by putting
yeah,
things up on YouTube. Like
yeah,
pretty soon, if you haven't gotten there yet, then pretty soon you're going to be to the point where you don't have to say anything at all.
yeah.
Like you just be like,
I
I'm
agree
Jonni
with
Phillips. Here's my work. It speaks for itself.
You know what it
Yeah.
is. Start throwing the papers like this. They like, yes, I want all of them.
So I definitely think you're on the right track. Like there's no doubt there's an audience out there for it, or else we wouldn't be talking right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, man, just stick it out just a little bit longer, and I think you'll be a lot. I think you're a lot closer to where you want to be than you think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a fucking badass, and you don't even know it. You don't
Thank
even
you.
know it.
Well, I know it. I just forget.
Okay, all right, cool. That's what's up. Well, I think my last question I have is with all the animations that you've done over time, even with I'll ask pertaining to Secrets and Lies.
Mhm.
With the episodes that you dropped there, how long does it take for you to finish one, and how do you find time to complete that in a good amount of time for you?
Secrets and Lies was like this. It was like a real.
Because we saw the earlier one was like a year or two ago that you dropped.
Mhm.
It was with that same style that you did with the, and so
Yeah.
we saw that, yeah.
I mean, like with Secrets and Lies specifically, it was like it was like a really bizarre pipeline where it was like I was going like I think for like the first 5, I did each of those in like 1 week. So it was like even though like that's so like the Dacia episode is like 10 minutes long, and then like these other ones are all like 2 to 4 minutes, but they're all done in the span of like 1 week each. And it's like that includes like writing too, because it was like I like had like kind of the whole series blocked out. Like I knew like where everything was going, but I didn't know like the specifics of each episode until like got to them. So it was like this, so like did the Reginald one in like a week, and then like the like Zeus and Deborah one in a week, and then the Fairly Encounter one in a week, and then the Dacia one in a week. And then I took like I think like a month for the 6th one, the Barber one, and then like 2 weeks for the 7th one, even though it's probably the worst one. um, and then
I just wanted to say real quick, cool Dilbert reference. I saw that. I like that. Did you catch it?
Oh no. Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear us with some? Now, damn it.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Sorry. Did you see us?
Sorry, I didn't hear anything you said.
Okay, I said just real quick. I wanted to say cool Dilbert reference. I caught that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really want that character to have been Dilbert before it got changed into a Clay character. But I really like canonically, Dilbert lives in my world.
Oh, he was Dilbert.
I would really, I don't know. I named him Scott, so but that's like the first. That's like maybe my third Dilbert reference. I think you could probably. Well, actually, yeah, third one. There's one in Stilton
Okay.
where when he's working in the office, and like I think his boss looks like the boss from Dilbert, and then the second one is in my Black Dresses music video, where it's like Dilbert's just like in the foreground of a shot.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
So big fan of Dilbert, huh?
Yeah. Shout out
I
to
don't know if
Scott
I'm a
Adams.
fan of Dilbert, but I'm a fan of like the design of him, I think, because I think he's just like,
He looks cool as fuck.
yeah, no, but it's something because it's the same thing with like Garfield, I think, because like I was like really into newspaper comics when I was a kid,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
and it was like,
And I wanted the Calvin and Hobbes so bad. And
yeah, like Calvin and Hobbes was another huge one for me, but like for some reason Garfield and Dilbert's designs both like really stick in my head, so I don't know, I always like really like okay, but anyway, and then but like
Me
8,
and
9, and
Garfield have the
10.
same birthday. I'm sorry I had to say that.
You and Dilbert have the same birthday?
Me and Garfield have the same
Oh
birthday.
wow! Congrats, that's awesome. Fuck, God damn it! Whatever.
Nice.
Yes. I'm gonna have to send you a photo or the drawing that I did of me and Garfield.
A drawing of you and Garfield together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we're both from Indiana and we both had the same birthday. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Congrats
Hell
on
yeah.
having such a famous like what's the word? Like a town mascot, I guess.
Yeah.
I've like seen videos of like all the
People in
Garfield.
Indiana don't care about Garfield at all.
They don't?
No, I cared. I cared about it.
Well, obviously, you drew yourself. I thought I saw a video of like this like Garfield like house in Indiana or something, or someone went to this or maybe just I don't know actually.
And it was probably in Muncie. I've been to Muncie one time ever. I mean, that's where Jim Davis is from.
Yeah.
So yeah, it probably is in Muncie. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've been there maybe one time, and it was too small for me. I rode in, rode right back out. Wouldn't go again.
Yeah, I think like it probably was that. If like people in Indiana generally don't care about Garfield, then it probably must have just been this one town then.
Yeah. I mean, because
I'm pretty sure.
well, being in Indiana, everyone was surprised to see that there was live action movies being shot of Garfield, and we were like
I don't know.
He's a big deal. He's a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal to everybody else, and we were just like, so what?
It's like your annoying grandpa or something.
Right? Right. Oh my gosh, here we go with this now.
You won't shut up.
Right? Cool.
Got a hair.
All right. Well.
Oh yeah, and then I was answering a question. Okay, it was like 8, 9, and 10 were all. I think those are the best ones. My favorite ones are like the last three because I think everything builds up to them.
We'll have to rewatch them.
Yeah, and then kind of those ones. 8 and 9 were done in like a week, I think, and then 10 took me like I think 3 weeks.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because I think 10, like I was getting really burnt out near the end because I'd been doing it since like January.
Mhm.
I did it from January to like early May, and it was like really. It was like I was like quarantining before everyone else was because it was like I started in December, I think. I never left my house and I was like, as soon as this is done, I'm gonna see all my friends again. It's gonna be great. You know.
Here we go.
It's like, oh, okay.
It's like you're going green, like you thought it was never going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that feels. I know them feels.
But yeah, it's like I think the writing process it was really strange compared to other things that I've done where it was like because I started thinking about it I think like while I was making Goodbye Fever Party and I got really bored I get really bored with the things I'm doing and I want to do other things.
Yeah.
So it's like I remember I drew all the character designs as like an exercise just in like drawing. I was just like doing shapes and seeing where they led and all of them kind of ended up as characters in this and then
Cool.
And I think initially,
Yep. Up. Hold on. 1 second.
Oh, jeez.
um,
Okay, hang on. Go back to initially.
I don't know.
them. So like
Hold on 1 second.
the idea originally was
Connection.
Jonni.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You said initially.
okay. Initially, I wanted to do like a VR game with them. So, or not a VR game, but like a click and point game, I think, where you just click on their houses and it like zooms in. You like find all the secrets in their house or something.
Oh, cool.
And then, yeah, it's creepy. But then it turned into this thing with my friend in where it was like a VR. We made a VR game for this, this digital arts expo. And it was just basically like it was it was like a college recruiter recruiting all the characters to a college, and then, and it was horrible. It was really, really just awful. It was like an awful game because it just did not work, and it was like, but and then so then I kind of put it to rest for a while, and then when I decided to like go independent, it was like, oh, I like maybe I can do something with this, and then kind of like slowly kind of started to figure out where all the different people went and like how I could like weave a narrative through everything, because it was like, like I think like when it really clicked was when I put like Dacia and her friends in, because I was writing everything and I had like Deborah get abducted by aliens, but I didn't know what was going to happen to her. I knew I wanted her to come back, but I didn't know like what was going to happen. So then it was like when I just like decided to have like Dacia and everything, and like because also I had like Barber needing a religion to follow, but I didn't know what the religion was going to be. So then it was like kind of this like, oh shit, like I have Dacia already, kind of like finding all these like little different things I can do with, because it was like kind of just like an exercise in reusing a bunch of characters and finding different places for them, which but then also like kind of finding, because again like it's supposed to lead into the Barber movie, which was my plan kind of the whole time, but I didn't know how it was going to work, but like it was kind of this thing of like one figuring out how do I make this like 10 episode story kind of flow into the movie that I'm making, and then also how do I tell like a cohesive interesting story with all these different characters and like changing perspectives all the time. And then like and then there's like some other third thing I was trying to do, but I can't remember. It was like,
yeah, no, you had a lot going on there.
That's sick, man.
The Dakaya religion thing that touched me here, like like, oh yeah, go sit in your room until like you think better thoughts, or what did he tell it, like
because Barber's like being blasphemous essentially.
Right.
If you feel like that part hit home, you're gonna fucking die with my movie. The movie's like so like
there was just so many levels there that could be set up. It's like, okay, yeah, she is real, but she's not what they think she is.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right, yeah.
So
it's like it's a very it was like if I make like the like short series with Dacia, that's kind of like another thing I want to play with, is kind of like the levels of like how it works on this like kind of like hierarchy, I guess, where it's like thinking about like like oh my god, there's like the third thing for what I wanted to do with it was it was kind of this idea like because I grew up really Christian, and something I always think about is kind of like the way that Jesus talked about like like the dominant the dominant rules of religion back then and everything, and like kind of thinking about like, and also like how like a lot of his stories were parables and everything, and kind of the structure of Secrets and Lies was kind of supposed to be like a bunch of different parables, and then like and then like the title Secrets and Lies and China Sinners is kind of meant to kind of tie into that as well, because it's like this idea of like because I think the thing that a lot of people now are kind of forgetting is that a lot of what he was talking about was like empathizing with people who were labeled as sinners and everything. So it was kind of like through that lens, and then as well as like having Jesus as a character in it, but having him be really stupid and dumb, and, it's like, and have everyone hate him, and then kind of like, which to me kind of felt like a Jesus thing as well, where it's like because I feel like a lot of things he said were kind of like in opposition to kind of like the toxic structures of when he was around. So it's kind of like this like kind of secretly Christian thing where it like literally the show like literally ends on like a love thy neighbor moment. Where it's like there's like literally like that was the, I feel so stupid saying it for some reason, but it's like that was like really what the kind of idea behind it, because it was like
don't feel stupid. I think we all agree that religion itself is stupid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but that's actually really cool. And that's now I'm really seeing the parallels. Like they really are direct parallels from like the actual religion, and that's really cool.
It was like
a lot. Hey, Jonni. Oh, okay. So, how late are you up? I don't know. Like, are you gonna be around? Like, because I think we might have an easier time if we try to do this at night.
We got a lot of good.
I mean,
a lot of good material. I mean, I don't know. I want to. Okay, all right. Well,
yeah, I mean, I have like other things I have to do later because I have a very full day. But
no, of course.
I can also
we appreciate
right.
you even being here with us.
No, yeah, no, I'm like happy to. I never get asked to do this kind of thing.
Cool. Well, what's your recording on? Should we close out that?
Yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll end the recording here. But like this internet connection is it's not working out right now.
What's up? This has been Acme News. I'm DomZilla.
And I'm MylesTales.
And this is Jonni Phillips.
Goodbye, Amy.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Here we go.